Hey lovely folks, so after I posted online that I was accepting that I probably won't get anything out, or I might not get anything out of my gardens this year, then we had the heat wave and everything took off, which is highly unusual because generally if you have a heat wave, then your garden doesn't want to do anything. That is not what happened this year. Now, this looks pretty junky, but it's been functional for me because I had a deer that was getting in here, and the deer was going after my tomatoes especially. So what I did was I grabbed the bird netting that I had, which I had quite a bit of bird netting from when I had chickens. By the way, do not use bird netting with chickens. I tried it for young ones, and I mean, not super young ones, but they were young ones, and don't waste your money and time and effort, because they will find a spot and they will get through. Because they do not like to be, they don't like to be told what to do. Obviously I got basil here. Now you see random like things here and there around there. You see you got the white things. Those are bootstrap farmer, plastic planters. Do not buy them, please, because they lasted maybe a year or two before they started falling apart. And I was gonna send them to the dump because I have a dump trailer rental scheduled, but instead I used them to basically make it so that there are fewer spots for the deer to jump in here. Because if there's no spot for the deer to safely feel like it can safely jump in, then it won't. And so that was part of it. And then the other part of it was the bird netting. And I had the bird netting pretty much all the way across with paths, walking paths for myself. There wasn't squash here at the time. And that I had to I did hand pollinate, and I do still hand pollinate. I just hand pollinated a flower over here. Even though I just saw a couple of pollinators buzzing around, which is wonderful. But I had it across like this over much of the area, and that in conjunction with having junk down here so that there weren't obvious places for the deer to jump in, that worked. The deer did reach down and snack on something over here. I don't remember what it was. But it stayed out of the garden. So, but now the problem is, or was, that my Long Island cheese pumpkin and my butternut squash were running into this and getting all tangled up in there. And these things grow really fast. I mean, once that heat wave hit, they were zipping around, and they obviously are still zipping around. I'm just so happy with my butternut squash and Long Island cheese pumpkin, you guys. I thought I couldn't grow pumpkin because I tried a number of varieties, and then but I just kept trying. I just kept trying different varieties, and finally I hit on the Long Island cheese pumpkin, and that's the variety that grows for me. And I save the seeds every year from that and from the butternut squash. And I keep expecting to have butterkins, but I don't, which is cool. I keep still having Long Island cheese pumpkin and butternut squash. I wait to save the seeds from the best, longest storing squash, and it works. And this here is trash, but I mean, it's trash, but I'm using it. It's functional. I use this to block off the deer, and that worked as well. So I wanted to share with you what has worked for me, because this has been a month, maybe 6 weeks. I don't know. Time is just going so fast. I don't even know. But it's been at least a month since I put up the bird netting and put the junk everywhere. So since then, the only deer issue I've had down here has been they reached, like, there was over here where they ate some tomatoes that I didn't have covered, and then so I put this here, and that worked. So the deer hasn't been in there since, and it's worked, like I said, 4 to 6 weeks. I think it's been more than 4 weeks since I put these in, honestly. It could even be 8 weeks. I don't even know. But it's been long enough for me to be confident that it worked. That's what's important. Okay. So now the deer have been here because I have had a close encounter just about with one, and Dave sees them now and then. And then also, oh yeah, the deer ate like my comfrey. My comfrey was flowering. I have my comfrey just out in a few spots. My comfrey was flowering and the deer ate that. But once I accepted, and I literally posted online, that, you know, I'm accepting I may not get the harvest this year. Once I said that, then we had the heat wave and things started taking off. So there's that. Hey you. Hey, I'm trying to catch that carpenter bee. All right. She has places to go. Thank you very much. You can see got a couple flowers here growing now. These are just from a packet that I bought bought them a couple of years ago. No, I bought it last year, and they were just marketed as red flowers. And they produced a ton of seeds. So I saved the seeds, and now they're growing here. So that's cool. So here's what I'm doing in the garden. For one, both my tomatoes and my cucumber have some fungal issues, and I came through this week and I cut a bunch of these sorts of leaves off, and I need to do it again. Now, was it this week or last week? I don't even know. I'm so tired. So tired. But I just accepted, okay, well, you know, Lord, you're going to take care of me. You always do. And I'm going to do what I can as I can out here, which is what I'm doing, except today I'm tired and I just don't want to eat. I'm trying to keep... There's a carpenter bee over here checking out the flowers. It's so nice to see them. Once the monarda started flowering, then they took off. Got more basil down here that's growing. Basically, a lot of weeds that people hate like plantain and lady's thumb here and dock here. People hate these weeds, but they're food and medicine for me. When I make my nutrient-dense pesto, which the recipe's on the website, and you have to if you go to DuckDuckGo, put in non-toxic-home.org, and then search, then that's the better search option. I'm getting rid of the search option on the website because it's not working right anymore. But this lady's thumb here, I mix this in my pesto. And so my pesto ends up being nutrient dense, besides using fermented garlic as well. And it's amazing. It's good pesto. And we have pizza every Friday night to celebrate getting through another stinking week. Here's another cucumber. I need to pick my cucumber here. I picked one cucumber so far, which is great. Makes me happy. I love cucumbers. Cucumbers are one of my favorite things to eat. I love them so much. Just don't even know. But what else do I want to share with you? Oh, I just transplanted. I started some bush beans here. These are just like nursery thingies, and I put let me think of the potting soil. I can't think of the name of it. There's one that's ocean forest, and that's good, but that's not the one that I use. I'll drop it below. I can't think of what it's called. So there's that. But what I'm doing, as you can see, is I'm digging out the garden soil because of the vole issue. So we've got vole issue. We've got Victor the gopher. I'm pretty sure it's over here that Victor the gopher did his thing, but there are voles over here too. And oh, one more thing. Digging tunnels and wrecking havoc, and another reason why here, these are vole holes here. A vole hole and a vole hole there. Let me find it right there. See that? Okay, so I thought this was a gopher hole. It is not. Let me show you a gopher hole. This was a gopher hole. Right there. That was a gopher hole, but he can't. If it's an actual gopher hole, the gopher comes back and fills it in. And that has not been filled in. And then outside the garden, there are a bunch of these. Here and there, all over our property. Well, I don't know about all over our property, but over a good deal of our property. You know what that is? It's a freaking rat hole. So there are rats that are problems here too now. Yay! And there, when I was picking my wild black raspberries last week, I think it was, I was up near the road, and there were a bunch of holes like that. I was like, oh crap. You know, if they want to stay outside the garden and not get into the house or into the sheds or on my porch and poop where I have to clean it up and destroy things, then that would be fine. But that's not what they're doing. You know, they're trying to get in, you know, in my shed and stuff and everything, and that's a problem. The best trap, let's talk about traps. Now, I love animals. You just don't even know how much I love animals. You just can't even. I mean, I wanted to be a veterinarian for 12 years because how much I love animals. But at the same time, you know, I'm given dominion, and this is my house, this is my property, and they don't get to take my food. So the best trap is a bucket without holes, and then piece of wood, okay, scrap piece of lumber, or something else that functions in this manner, in this capacity. Fill it a third with water. Grab, you can get for $10 like a pound of peanuts for wild birds, and they are in shells. Peanuts in shells for wild birds. Grab a handful at a time, throw them in there in the water, and you will be amazed at how much you catch. Now, I also have tried and had success with the bucket traps, where you drill a hole here, you drill a hole here, you put a string, rope, whatever through, and then you have something that spins. Like I put a paper towel roll here, and then you put some peanut butter on it. And then, so you have this. I wasn't planning to talk about this, so I didn't bring it over here. But you have a string going through here with a paper towel roll or whatever, little peanut butter here. And then what happens, you want the peanut butter opposite. What happens is that the mouse or rat climbs up here and that to try to get to the peanut butter and then falls off. But that's work. I don't like work. So I figured, what if, and I needed more of these bucket traps because I've got multiple sheds and a porch. So I thought, well, what if I just put a third of it in water and just throw a handful of peanuts and shells in there? That works. You don't have to do anything else. Yay! Less work. Okay. Voles. Trapping vole. Now, trapping moles, I do not have luck with. There is an insect. Stupid gnat. Or actually, it's a midge. trapping voles. I have had success. I have caught 2 voles and 2 mice, and I'm going to show you how I did it. I was going to use the Elliott Coleman trap, but then I thought, wait, that's too much work. I think I can make this work without doing that much work, because I don't like work. So what you do is you find a spot where there's 2 vole holes, and then you set these right in between like that. And then, and this is important, okay, then you cover them. So you can use a cardboard box, but you need something that has some height like this. So this is the plastic dishpan. I had them, so that's what I'm using. All right, and then you cover it up like so. And that helps keep out any, you know, birds or frogs or anything else. And it works. That is what has worked for me with voles. And it's pretty good, pretty humane, it's quick. I don't like the bucket trap. The bucket trap didn't work for voles, by the way, for me. But I caught some sort of mysterious something or another, some sort of rodent. I don't even know what it was. Out in one shed. It was large, and I don't know what it was. It was weird, you guys. It was so weird. Anyways, and I caught a chipmunk, which I wasn't very happy about that, but the chipmunk was like a GMO chipmunk. It was massive. Like, chipmunks usually are small. This thing was at least 3 times the size of a normal chipmunk. Crazy. Okay. But the 2 that I have used, I will link to that is some off-brand on Amazon. I don't like that as much, but it's a lot cheaper. But I don't like it as much. Like this one caught a mouse, like a mouse's paw, and I grabbed it. Once I saw it, I grabbed it, and then I know it was literal overkill. I grabbed my 22, and literal overkill. But yeah, but it works, and I got lots of ammo, so, because we stocked up on it in 2020. But I do like the butter mouse trap better. I have such an overactive startle reflex, you guys. It's ridiculous. Even if I know it's coming, I startle so easily. Now the good thing about both of these options, an ant just bit me. Ugh. Sorry. Both of these options is that if, God forbid, but if you get your thumb in there or something like that, it smarts for a few minutes, but that's it. Like, whereas, you know, the spring traps, those things are wicked. But if you do something like this, you do want to be sure you're checking it in the morning and in the evening to be merciful, just in case. And as far as, you know, maybe even if it's hot outside, maybe even 3 times a day. So I'm gonna, okay, I have such overactive startle. Okay, that didn't work at all. I just did a terrible job. I wouldn't set it off because I don't. There we go. Okay. I just don't want it sitting there open and on. And I don't want to set this today because I don't want to come out tonight to check on it. Try to be merciful. So the another thing I want to share with you is that using this, dang, that ant bite, I'm reacting to that ant bite. Using this trellis instead of, let me see, so I had plastic fencing, so I used it because I had it, but you have to tie, you have to come out and tie stuff. and that's, you know, that takes time, takes energy. As I said, I don't like work. Well, I mean, I have a lot to do. I mean, I preserve a lot of our food, and everything I make for years and years has been from scratch. Like, neither one of us has eaten out anything. Me since 2019. Sorry about that. Dave has eaten out twice with his parents since 2019, and that's it. Otherwise, everything I've made has been from scratch, except I buy raw cheese. I don't make my own olive oil or make my own flaxseed oil. And the food's alive. Crackers. I have a bag every month or two. But the other one, I mean, so I try to minimize effort and energy if possible. The great thing about this is I don't have to come out and tie things. I can just, move this around and move the plants around. And they're trellised. So that's something to consider. And then also, I don't think the last time I showed you about that I put the T-posts in for this, which is working great for this trellis. Sorry, I keep showing you my fingers, but that stupid ant bite is itchy. So itchy. Where'd you go? I keep trying to catch that carpenter bee. Or a carpenter bee. There's more oregano. Oh, wild lettuce. Some wild lettuce here. This is second year wild lettuce, apparently. Because we're going to seed, baby. Going to seed. When it goes to seed, it basically puts little white puffballs that float through the air. Pretty cool. The only thing I really hate having in the garden is grass. And so I won't be tilling anymore in the garden because I'm putting things into buckets and containers. But over here, yesterday or the day before, I came out and went kamikaze on that grass's butt because there's grass all over here and it was tall. It's about to go to seed. Not okay grass, not okay. Look at all this lady's thumb. This is all lady's thumb. There's some dandelion there. Yeah, look at all the lady's thumb. Yeah, gonna make me some pesto, baby. Here's more dock. The seeds of dock, what I generally do is I'll harvest this in a way, but I will just take it around the property and spread the dock seeds everywhere because I like dock. There's so much benefit to it. I think I have a post on it on the website about dock because it's amazing stuff. This here is mullein. This is second year mullein. And by the way, these dock, wild lettuce, none of these weeds did I plant. Did they have just the prettiest flowers? I like mullein a lot. Cowboy toilet paper, baby. So that's another name for it, is cowboy toilet paper. Believe it or not. So the buckets here are almost all from Walmart. And that was the cheapest price that I found on buckets. Believe it or not, was from Walmart. And that's delivered. I'm homebound if you're new here. I haven't left the property for over 7 years now. And I also had some of these storage totes, which are not ideal and I'm not recommending. And I'm not recommending that you plant in buckets. But voles, gophers, and rats are a problem for me. So I've been busy. I've been very busy. Stupid midges. All right. So I was pondering about trellising, this line for a bit. And then I thought, wait, why don't I just do what I'm doing everywhere else with these? And that's working great. It's working wonderful. So that's that. And I've got some more that it's all garden soil that I have put in there. And when I was frustrated and accepting that I might not get anything out of the garden, I planted a ton of seeds, you guys. Planted a whole bunch of seeds. Lots of cucumber seeds, because I just love cucumbers so much. And I planted a bunch of cucumber, and I planted the rest of the muskmelon seeds because I had a bunch of, and it's Wisconsin midget muskmelon, or cantaloupe, Wisconsin midget cantaloupe, if you will. I planted half the packet that didn't come up. And so then I was like, well, I really want some. And so I planted the rest of them. And maybe it's Michigan. No, I think it's Minnesota midget cantaloupe. So I planted the rest of the packet thinking that nothing was going to come up. Coming up now. With buckets, with growing squash in buckets or anything that vines, and if you're not able to trellis it, what I'm doing here is I'm trying to guide it over here so that it then will go down and cover the ground, because it's great weed barrier. But also one thing that squash do that are like this, so pumpkins do it, and say butternut squash do it, where they are running out, okay? It's literally a runner. And when it's on the ground, it will send roots down into the ground. So then if, say, there's a breakage here, you still have roots in the ground, and it's still getting moisture, and that's great for times of drought. So that's something to think about, because drought's a problem. This is Jerusalem artichoke, by the way. I had a whole huge stand, multiple stands of Jerusalem artichoke that did not come up this year, you guys. Can't believe it. I've never had my Jerusalem artichoke not come up on me. So weird. But I've tried in previous years trellising intentionally and unintentionally cucumber and I don't know if it was pumpkin or butternut squash that went up here, but this is high. Okay, this is high. This is like 8 to 10 feet high up here. And so then I had to break out a ladder to come and harvest, which is what problem 1 with that for me. Problem 2 with that for me is the deer would partake. So trellising on my fence is not an option. What else do I want to tell you? I don't know. Oh, some beans. Oh, so my this is the vining zucchini that I planted, which I never planted before. I just planted it this year. And thus far, I have 0 zucchini. This one has flowered a bunch of male flowers. But that's all. But I'm pretty sure that the voles were in this area here. That were pretty bad. My beans. I think these are Kentucky. Oh, look, I got a flower. My first bean flower of the year, about time, finally. I think these are Kentucky something or another runner beans. I think. I might be wrong. I need to get a thingy for you. Here's another mullein. This mullein here, I actually transplanted it earlier this year. Oh, look, and that's still growing too. And this wild lettuce here, I also transplanted it. I just moved them over here and watered them and then pretended that it never happened when I was tilling this spring. So they're still growing. All right. Not that I need mullein. This is a huge dock plant, by the way. And that's a huge dandelion. Dandelion's good too. Good food too. Oh, I know what I wanted to share with you. So what I started doing what I've planted since my last video that I posted on gardening, I think, maybe something like that, is that my glass cloches, what I've been doing is putting them into the ground, planting my glass cloches into the ground around it. And that's not because of the sun or anything, but because of the voles. And that seems to be helpful. I think that everything that I've planted in such a manner where I push the glass close down about an inch or so into the soil, I don't think that anything's died from a vole. So I think the voles are hitting this and then stopping. I think. I think. Oh, and I did, of course, pull my garlic early this year. I mean, not too early. Maybe a week or two early. Because the voles were eating my garlic. You know what the #1 natural repellent for voles is? Garlic. My patty pan squash here, I'm pretty sure it's a gopher that got in here. But I know that voles have been over here as well. And because a vole definitely ate one of the plants. That's what voles do. They eat plants. Moles eat meat. Moles, meat eater. So I haven't had any female flowers from these yet. And I've got some basil growing there too. But I had garlic growing here and garlic growing here. And that's where I plant my garlic. And I'll plant again this fall with my seed garlic, because I've been saving the seeds for my garlic for years. So again, these are not ideal. This is not ideal, but it's better than nothing. Next year, I question about whether I question 2027. I question. If you listen to my prophecy videos, you know why. Okay, you know why I'm thinking about 2027, and I'm going. Am I going to even be planting anything in 2027? I don't know. I don't know. But I worked so hard on my garden soil for years, and so I don't want to lose it, and I certainly don't want to spend a bunch of money on filling the containers. But this is obviously work. And this is clay soil down there. You can see the clay, and then you can see the good soil on top. And this was heavily compacted clay soil previously. But everything that I've filled that you see that has stuff growing, I just transplanted these here, by the way. Everything that has soil in it, that has plant growing in it, I mean, except for my flowers here, those were all from garden soil. Those all from garden soil that I dug up. So yes, you can dig up soil from your garden and put it in a container and grow. You can dig up, good soil, good topsoil, put it in a container and grow plants. You don't have to buy things. Gardening industry wants you to believe that you have to buy things. Anyways, so, let's see, I have this one here, and I might have one more tote that I will plant stuff in. Otherwise, I have, I think, 40 more buckets that I just took, I think it's a 3/8 of an inch bit, and I put 5 or 6 holes in the bottom and then 1 hole on either side. The hole on either side is mostly for the worms, because if it gets, if it's too cold, because I'm digging up soil, so I'm digging up worms. So I've got worms and everything, which is reflected by the raccoons that came and thought that I made a nice little worm feast for them a few weeks ago or so. And they got in the garden and just like they just wreaked havoc. They just threw things around. And they are no more. But, yeah, so there's that. And then the groundhogs, I trapped the one groundhog and dispatched a while ago. And then there were 3 young groundhogs, but they were old enough to take care of themselves, because they were out running around, and they were just the cutest little things. You just wouldn't even believe it. But they're so funny. Their groundhog den is under one of our sheds. We have one shed that is just up on cinder blocks. It's a super small shed. It's like not even 100 square feet. And I saw one day where one came zipping out from underneath there at its brother or sister and leapt onto the other one. And I heard the other one go, eek! And they tumbled down the hill, and it was the cutest, most hilarious, adorable thing ever. It was just like something from a cartoon. It was so cute. And then, since nature is so cruel, a week or so later, they all three disappeared, and I haven't seen them since. So there are a lot of raptors around here, a lot of chicken hawks specifically around here. I know sometimes people see an eagle around here. Eagles. I haven't seen any eagles around here, just chicken hawks. Lots of chicken hawks. Oh, there's another cucumber. Oh, yeah, buddies. Oh. Did you see that carpenter bee too? Look, there's another cucumber. Yeah, buddies. Oh, that's great. Oh, thank you, Lord. It makes me so happy. So happy. But, yeah, so I still got stuff to do. But I would rather talk to you than do anything because I'm really tired. But but this is what I, as you can see, I've dug up here. And I try not to have bare soil. I'm trying to cover, soil as I can because I hate grass. I don't want grass growing. I hate grass so much. You just don't even know how much I hate grass. And there's grass coming up here, which, but, it is what it is. Oh, so, I've shared a bunch of information, and I hope it's been a benefit to you. If so, be sure to, subscribe to me in the places where I post things. I am, posting, I'm trying to get a couple posts up a week on, in general, but, this is an important thing that I'm doing right now as well. So, obviously, because I want to eat. Do what you can where you're at. You just gotta, and just keep your chin up. Keep planting seeds. I like I said, I planted an entire packet of the Minnesota midget muskmelon. And now they're coming up, but they are, I think, 60-day variety. So I may actually manage to get some muskmelon this year. We'll see. We will see. All right. Until next time, hang in there and do all of the things, and try to get some time in nature if you're in an urban area. And it's hard for nature in general right now. It's hard for animals, hard for plants, but it's still very healing. Even so, even in such a situation, to get out here. Even if you don't if you plant something, and even if you don't get a yield, it's good therapy, cheap therapy, non-toxic out.